Okay, so get this. You're looking for new investment opportunities, right? Well, have you ever thought about, like, trading on the Saudi Arabian stock exchange?
Yeah, it's opening up to foreign investors, right?
Exactly. And we're going to dive into Interactive Brokers News at IBKR Vol.com newsletter to see what all the fuss is about.
Oh, yeah, this newsletter's like a treasure map, honestly. It points to some really lucrative, potentially lucrative shifts in the global market.
And it's not just Saudi Arabia.
Oh, no, no, no. We're talking AI-powered earnings forecasts, totally new ways to manage risk. It's a lot to unpack.
And unpack we shall. This newsletter is a goldmine.
Absolutely.
But first, let's talk about something it sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. This whole predict the future and profit thing, with Interactive Brokers ForecastX platform.
Yeah, ForecastX is really intriguing. It lets you basically engage in what they call forecast contracts, which are basically essentially yes-no bets on future events.
Okay.
Think elections, economic indicators, even things like climate change.
So it's like hedging your portfolio against, like, the future itself. That's a
Exactly.
bold move.
It's a very unique way to manage risk. Imagine you're concerned about how a potential rise in the Fed funds target rate, the interest rate set by the Federal Reserve, might affect your investments.
Okay, yeah, that's a big deal, for interest rates on loans and all that stuff.
Right, so a spike could really impact, companies you've invested in. But with ForecastX, you could actually hedge against that risk.
Right.
If your prediction about the rate going up is correct, the payout from that contract could offset any potential losses in your portfolio.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's less about gambling on the future and more about having a backup plan for different scenarios.
Yes, precisely.
But how does this actually work, like, in practice?
Okay, let's say you're worried about escalating geopolitical tensions in a certain region and how that might impact your tech stocks.
Okay.
With forecast contracts, you could essentially bet on whether a specific event will happen, like new sanctions being imposed. If things go south and, your prediction was right, the payout from the contract could help mitigate potential losses in your tech holdings.
Wow, that's a whole new level of risk management. It's like having a crystal ball, but instead of just seeing the future, you're actually, like, prepared for it.
Precisely. And, this kind of tool can be especially valuable for navigating uncertainties that traditional investment strategies really struggle to address.
This is fascinating. Okay, so we've talked about hedging against future uncertainty, but the newsletter also mentioned something about, like, tapping into emerging markets, specifically Saudi Arabia's stock exchange. What's the story there?
Yeah, it's huge. So for the first time, foreign investors can directly access the Saudi stock market, which opens up a world of potential opportunities.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but also a little, cautious. Like, emerging market sounds exciting, but also a little risky.
It's all about calculated risks, right? And understanding the potential. The newsletter really highlighted how Saudi Arabia has been pushing for economic diversification. So it's not just about oil anymore.
Right.
They're investing heavily in sectors like technology, renewable energy, even tourism.
So less reliance on oil, more focus on, like, industries of the future.
Yeah.
That does sound promising, I have to admit. But is it really comparable to, say, like, the rise of the BRIC countries a while back? That was a big deal for investors.
It's a fair comparison.
Right.
There are some key differences to consider. The BRIC boom, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, was fueled by factors like rapid industrialization, a young workforce, and increasing globalization.
Right, like a perfect storm of growth potential.
Exactly. With Saudi Arabia, the landscape is a bit different. Their focus is on transitioning away from an oil-dependent economy.
Okay.
And that, coupled with, their strategic geographic location and efforts to attract foreign investment, it makes it a unique case.
So while there are parallels to, previous emerging market success stories, Saudi Arabia is kind of its own thing, with its own set of opportunities and, of course, its own challenges.
You got it. It's not a guaranteed win, but for those willing to do their research and really understand the nuances, it could be very rewarding.
Okay, so we've talked about predicting the future and venturing into new markets. That's a lot to process. But let's, bring things back down to earth for a moment. What did Interactive Brokers have to say about their trading platforms? Any upgrades that caught your eye?
Absolutely. They've made some impressive enhancements, especially in areas that I know you're interested in, like saving time and maximizing your return.
Yes, hit me with it. Efficiency is my love language when it comes to like managing my investments.
Well, get ready for 2 words that'll make tax season a little less painful.
Okay, I'm ready.
Tax loss harvesting.
Tax loss harvesting. Okay, for those of us who aren't, financial wizards, remind me what that is again.
Of course. It's a strategy where you sell investments that have lost value to offset capital gains. So, the profit you make when you sell an investment for more than you paid for it. This can lower your tax bill come tax time.
Right. I always forget about that strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't that usually involve like a lot of manual tracking and calculations?
Traditionally, yes, it could get complicated. But this new tool really streamlines the whole process.
Okay.
Imagine being able to offset capital gains with losses across your entire portfolio automatically with just a few clicks.
Sign me up. That sounds like a game changer for simplifying what can be like a real headache. What else did they improve?
They've also made it easier to invest consistently, even with like smaller amounts.
Okay.
Remember fractional shares?
Yes.
You can buy a portion of a share, making even really high-priced stocks more accessible.
Yes, I love that option for, slowly building up my portfolio. But it can be a hassle to manage those small purchases.
That's where their enhanced recurring investment feature comes in. You can now combine it with fractional shares. So you just set it and forget it, automatically invest a fixed amount, say $50 every week, no matter the share price. You just build your position over time, effortlessly.
That's amazing. It's like they're taking all the excuses out of not investing consistently. Speaking of which, this newsletter's given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Any chance they covered ways to, keep learning about all this stuff? Because my brain is already feeling a little overloaded. In a good way. You read my mind.
Yeah.
It's like they knew, right?
Yeah.
Like after this, we'd be like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Tell me they have resources, please.
Oh, they absolutely do. And I think this is really cool. Interactive Brokers seems really committed to investor education.
Okay.
Which is refreshing.
Yeah.
They dedicated a whole section of the newsletter to what they call IBKR Campus.
IBKR Campus. Okay. That sounds way more appealing than my alma mater.
Right.
What is it, like some kind of online learning platform?
Yeah. So think of it as like a masterclass series, but for all things investing. Okay.
And it's free for Interactive Brokers clients. They have articles, webinars, even a podcast. It's like a knowledge buffet.
Okay.
But instead of, questionable sushi, it's packed with insights from top economists, hedge fund managers, even AI specialists.
Okay. I am sold.
Right.
What kind of topics are they serving up on this knowledge buffet? Like, give me the highlights.
Sure, yeah. So they cover a wide range of topics, but I'm thinking, knowing your interests, you'd probably find their content on AI-powered earnings predictions particularly relevant.
Oh, yeah.
They recently hosted a webinar on exactly that. It was called Leveraging AI for Earnings.
Hold on. Did they really have like an AI expert talking about this? Because I'm very interested.
They sure did. The webinar featured Giuseppe Sett, who is the president and co-founder of Toggle AI.
Okay.
And they're doing some really, really cool work in that space, using AI to analyze sentiment and trends from earnings calls. Wow, talk about getting ahead of the curve. Like this isn't your average, investing advice. It's like they're giving you a glimpse into the future of financial analysis.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of IBKR Campus. It's about empowering investors with this cutting edge knowledge and tools.
This is great. Okay, before we get lost in the AI rabbit hole, what other learning goodies are they hiding on this campus? I'm ready to enroll in everything.
Right. Well, remember those forecast contracts we were discussing earlier?
Yes.
They're so new and potentially game-changing that IBKR Campus actually has a whole course dedicated to them.
Wow. Yeah.
Led by experts from ForecastX themselves. So you're getting the inside scoop right from the source.
That's incredible. It's like they anticipated our every question and built the whole curriculum around it.
Right.
Wow.
It's really a testament to how seriously they're taking investor education and their commitment to making these, sometimes complex tools accessible.
Yeah, this is what I love about these deep dives. We're not just, scratching the surface. We're digging deep, uncovering those hidden gems and connecting the dots between these seemingly very different, innovations.
I totally agree. It's about understanding how these tools and trends kind of all fit into the larger picture of, the financial world.
Yeah.
And most importantly, how they can work for you as an investor.
It's about taking control of your financial future, armed with knowledge and, a little bit of future predicting AI magic. Speaking of which, like all this talk about AI, emerging markets, hedging against the unknown, like where do you see all of this heading? What does it mean for the future of investing?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Like,
Boy,
with tools like ForecastX, we're starting to actually quantify predictions about the future
right.
in a way that we never could before.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, are we like shifting from traditional stock picking to like something more like strategic forecasting?
Yeah. It's like that scene in Back to the Future where Doc Brown like predicts the Cubs winning the World Series.
Exactly.
But instead of a flux capacitor, we have, algorithms and big data.
It's a fascinating thought experiment.
It really is.
But I think it also highlights just how important it is to, stay informed and adapt to these really rapid changes in like the financial landscape.
Yeah, and that's where IBKR campus comes in, right?
Exactly.
Like keeping us ahead of the curve.
Yes.
And equipping us with the knowledge that we need to navigate this like exciting, if slightly overwhelming, new world of investing.
Precisely. It's about understanding the tools, yes, but also, like you said, those broader implications and potential consequences as well.
Okay, I'm officially adding Ponder the Future of Investing to my to-do list. But first, I'm signing up for every single resource on IBKR campus.
I wouldn't expect anything less. But, before you dive headfirst into that knowledge pool, I think it's really crucial to take a step back and consider something really, really important.
Oh, there's more. I'm on the edge of my seat. What is it?
So with all of these amazing tools and opportunities emerging, it can be really easy to get, swept up in the excitement, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it is so crucial to remember that every investment involves risk.
That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to get caught up in the what ifs and forget about, the potential downsides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So while exploring Saudi Arabia's stock exchange or dabbling in forecast contracts, might sound really alluring, it's absolutely vital to do your due diligence. It's really about doing your homework and making sure you're not getting in over your head.
Yeah, it's like, don't just take our word for it. Or even the word of like some fancy AI. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do your research, understand the risks, and then you can make, those informed decisions based on your own personal, like, financial goals.
Absolutely. And that's, where those resources like IBKR Campus become even more valuable.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how to use the tools, but also like, when and why to use them.
Exactly.
It's about making informed decisions that, align with your personal risk tolerance and financial goals.
So it's not about like, jumping on every trend or trying to like outsmart the market with all these fancy algorithms.
Right.
It's about being strategic, doing your research, and making choices that are right for you at this point in time in your life.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This deep dive has been quite a journey.
It has.
We've gone from like predicting the future with forecast contracts.
I know, right?
To like exploring the potential of Saudi Arabia's stock market.
Yeah.
And even like uncovered these hidden gems in Interactive Brokers platforms.
And let's not forget that treasure trove of knowledge on IBKR Campus.
IBKR Campus, I know. Sign up. Everybody listening, go sign up.
Yes, please do.
It's like they're handing us a roadmap to the future of investing. But as we've been discussing, it's not about, blindly following the map.
Right.
It's about using it to like navigate the terrain, make informed decisions,
yes,
and ultimately reach your own financial destination.
Beautifully put. I love that. That's a great way to put it.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, it's about, being an active participant in your financial journey, equipped with knowledge,
Yes.
aware of the risks,
Yes.
but always, open to exploring new possibilities.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the latest financial innovations.
Yes.
Remember, everybody, the future of investing is constantly evolving, so being informed is your greatest asset.
Until next time, happy investing.
Happy investing.